I welcome you all to this mathematics class. I'm Miss Vandana Gupta, Assistant Professor of Mathematics. We are doing the last unit of statistics, that is Unit 5, Decision Theory. Yesterday, we have already started with that. Some concepts or some definition related to this topic. Quickly, we are going to repeat that. So, decision maker. Decision maker is an individual or a group of person who are responsible for taking the decision. Course of action. These are the various options or strategies available to the decision maker, out of which he has to select the one. They are usually denoted by A1, A2, A3, AN. States of nature. These are the various events which are beyond the control of decision maker, and they determine the level of success of the given course of action. For example, the states of nature can be state of economy, weather condition, the demand. Yesterday, I have shown you one example. The demand of a product can be low, medium, or high. They can be called as a low, medium, and high can be considered as a events. Generally, we denote the events by S1, S2, S3, etc. Payoff is what? Each combination of specific course of action and state of nature is associated with a certain amount, which is called as payoff or profit. What is payoff table? A table which shows various courses of action. See here, A1, A2, A3, AM. Various states of nature, S1, S2, S3, SN, and their payoffs. So these figures, dot dot means there will be some figure, some number associated to A1 and S1, the profit associated here. Similarly here. So such a type of table is called as a payoff table. It is also called as payoff matrix. Then we have seen there are two types of decision making situations. One is decision making under uncertainty. The second one is decision making under risk. What is decision making under uncertainty? In this situation, the decision maker does not have the previous data or the probabilities of occurrence of various events. He is not having any previous record available with him. So he has to use his own instincts or some criterions which are given as follows. Maximax criterion, Maximin, and Laplace. Now, see, such type of situation arise when a new product is launched in the market. जब आप कोई प्रोडक्ट को नई फर्स्ट बार लॉन्च कर रहे हैं तो यू डोंट हैव एनी डेटा अवेलेबल विथ यू, तो यू डोंट नो कि उसका डिमांड कितना होगा, लो होगा, मीडियम, यानी लो डिमांड होने का क्या प्रोबेबिलिटी होगा, मीडियम डिमांड होने का क्या प्रोबेबिलिटी होगा, हाई डिमांड होने का क्या प्रोबेबिलिटी, बिकॉज यू आर लॉन्चिंग इट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. So such a situation of uncertainty occurs when the new product is launched or a new plant is set up. So in such situation, the following criteria are available: Maximax, Maximin, and Laplace criterion. What is Maximax criterion? Yesterday we have seen the example, uh, an exercise where we have used these criterions to solve the problem to get the best decision. What is Maximax criterion? In this case, the decision maker does not want to miss the opportunity of getting maximum profit. So what are the steps is used? First, select the maximum payoff for each course of action. For every course of action, select the maximum. And then from these maximum, again select the maximum. So select that course of action with the maximum value from amongst the maximum payoff. So what are the steps? First, you select the maximum for each course of action. And then out of those maximum, again select the maximum. So this Maximax criterion, it represents the optimistic approach of the decision maker. Means there are two types of person in the world. One is optimistic and one is pessimistic. Optimistic person always thinks in a positive way. His attitude is always to think in a positive way. He will always select the best out of best. Okay, he expects that he will get the maximum profit only. So he select the maximum of the maximum profit. That is why the name Maximax is given to this criterion. So this criterion represents the optimistic attitude or optimistic approach of the decision maker. Here the decision maker selects the best out of the best. So he selects the maximum, that means the best, and from that maximum also he selects the maximum. That is why the name Maximax criteria. Second one, Maxi-Min criterion. As I told you, there are some people who are pessimistic in nature. Pessimistic means they feel slightly in a negative way. Okay, so what in this criterion a decision maker does, he follows the following process, following steps. The first step is what? He select the minimum payoff. Means instead of selecting the maximum payoff for each course of action, he will select the minimum. And from those minimum, he will select the maximum. So choose the minimum payoff for each course of action. And from these minimum payoffs, select that course of action having the maximum value among the minimum payoff. So that is why it is called as maxi-min. So first take the minimum payoff or minimum profit, and then out of those minimum, select the maximum. So this criterion represents the pessimistic approach of the decision maker. So here the decision maker selects the best, the maximum तो वो लेता ही है, but out of the worst, not best out of the best. Maximum out of maximum नहीं, best मतलब maximum out of minimum. So best out of the worst. Okay, so that is called maximum criterion. In the third one, that is Laplace criterion, the person is showing neither the optimistic approach nor the pessimistic approach. Okay, he will take the average. So in this case, the decision is to choose that course of action which is having the maximum average payoff. So what is the steps? The first step is to calculate the average payoff for each course of action. How do you calculate the average? By adding the payoffs under all the possible states of nature and then dividing that sum, मतलब add करने के बाद जो sum आएगा, divide that sum by the total number of states of nature. That is how you take the average. You add all the payoffs and divide by how many are they in number, है ना? So and then what you do in the next step, select the decision with maximum average payoff. जहां पर maximum average आ रहा है, that course of action is the best course of action. Okay, so this criterion assigns equal probabilities to all states of nature, इसलिए वो average लेता है. Okay, so a maximax shows the optimistic approach, maximin shows the pessimistic approach, and in Laplace neither maximum nor minimum, neither optimistic approach nor pessimistic approach. The decision maker straight away take the average and select the maximum average out of those averages. Then we have solved these problems yesterday. This type of course of payoff table was given to you, and you have to find out the best criterion by using, best course of action by using these three criterions: Maximax, Maximin, and Laplace. So this I have already taken yesterday. Again, I will revise. So first of all, let us see what is Maximax. So what this is the table being given to you. So prepare a column for maximum. Out of these payoffs, what is the maximum value? Out of 3500 and 3800. 58, 95, 105, the maximum is 105. And from here, 91. Out of these maximum, again select the maximum. So that is 105 and it is for A2. So therefore, by Maximax criterion, A2 is the optimal decision or the best decision. Second one, by Maximin. Maximin. So we will calculate the minimum. For each course of action, find out the minimum profit. Minimum profit is 35. Here 58 and here 30. Then take the maximum out of these minimum. So that is 58. So it is for A2. So again, the best course of action by Maximin criterion is also A2. For Laplace, find out the average. So this figure 57.67 is the average of 35, 100 and 38. Add all these numbers 35, 100 and 38 and divide by 3. You will get this. Similarly, 58 plus 95 plus 105 divide by 3 means average of these three 86. 45, 30, 91, add them, divide by 3. The average will give you 55.33. Out of these averages, select the maximum, that is 86. It is again for A2. So by Laplace criterion, again A2 is the best decision. So in this problem, by all the three criterion, you are getting the best decision as A2. Then decision making under risk. In decision making under uncertainty, the decision maker was having no previous record available to him. But in decision making under risk, The decision maker has the knowledge of the probabilities of occurrence of each state of nature from the past experience. Because he is having the past data available with him. Okay? जैसे कि मैंने कल आपको एग्जांपल दिया था कि अगर कोई कॉलेज बच्चों को पिकनिक के लिए लेके जाता है और कितने बच्चे जाते हैं पिकनिक पे, इसका रिकॉर्ड पिछले 5 साल का अवेलेबल है, तो द कॉलेज नोस कि व्हाट इज द चांस और व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट 20 से 30 बच्चे आएंगे, 30 से 40 आएंगे, 40 से 50 आएंगे, या 50 से 60 आएंगे, या उससे ऊपर आएंगे. They are having the probabilities of occurrence of these events from the previous experience. 10 साल का 5 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है उनको. Okay, so they know that. So here the best division is chosen with the help of the criterion which is called as EMV criterion. EMV का full form है expected monetary value. ये भी आपको MCQ में पूछ सकते हैं. EMV criterion में what is the meaning of EMV? Expected monetary value. Now let us see how do you calculate the EMV. EMV criterion. These steps are as follows. How to calculate the EMV? EMV, that is expected monetary value, is calculated for each course of action. How do you calculate? By taking the sum. Sum of what? Sum of the products of payoffs and their respective probabilities for all possible states of nature. Then, after you have calculated EMV for each course of action, select that course of action as the best course of action which is having maximum EMV. तो इसमें आपको 2 स्टेप्स करना है. पहला स्टेप है आपको EMV निकालना है हर एक कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन के लिए, और फिर देखना है कि किस कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन के लिए EMV is maximum. That will be the best course of action. Okay, how to calculate EMV? EMV is calculated as the sum of the products of payoffs and their respective probabilities. We'll take one example to illustrate that. Look at this problem. For the following payoff table, determine the best course of action, best division or best course of action by using EMV criteria. Look at this table is being given to you. क्या दिया है इस टेबल में? Course of action. There are 3 courses of action, A1, A2, A3, and 3 states of nature, S1, S2, and S3. And the various payoff figures are given here. 15, 14, 10, 13, 15, 12, 17, 16, and 25. Okay. And you are also given, let us look at this last row, probability. Probability of occurrence of event S1 is 0.5. Probability of occurrence of event S2 is 0.4, and probability of event S3 is 0.1. So you are given the probabilities here. So in every problem of decision making under risk, this probability will be given. Under uncertainty के problem में देखो probabilities नहीं दिए थे because it is uncertainty situation है. मतलब the decision maker is not knowing from the previous record. उसके पास record ही नहीं है available. So he doesn't know the probabilities of the occurrence of these events. इसलिए decision making under uncertainty में probabilities नहीं दिए होंगे. This is the difference. And decision making under risk में आपको probabilities दिया रहेगा. ठीक है? So this much problem is being given to you. You have to use the EMV criterion to find out what is the best decision. Look, let us see how I have calculated the EMV. So EMV हमको तीनों course of action के लिए निकालना है. First of all, we will calculate EMV of A1. So I have written here EMV of A1. How it is calculated? It is the sum of the products of, product मतलब multiplication, product of payoff and their probabilities. So look at here, course of action A1. इसमें आप देखिए probabilities, you have to multiply the probabilities and the payoffs and then take the sum. So see what I'm going to do. A1. What are the payoff? 15, 14, and 10. What is their probability? 0.5, 0.4, and 0.1. So I will multiply 15 into 0.5. That is what I've written. 15 into 0.5. Plus, and you have to sum. Take the sum of the products. So sum, add 14 into 0.4, 14 into 0.4 plus 10 into 0.5, 10 into 0.5. So what you have to do, 15 into इन दोनों को मल्टीप्लाई करना है. 15 इसका प्रोबेबिलिटी 0.5, 15 into 0.5, दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव रिटन हियर, प्लस 14 into इसका प्रोबेबिलिटी 0.4, 14 into 0.4, 14 into 0.4 plus 10 into 0.1, 10 into 0.1. फिर 15 into 0.5 is 7.5, 14 into 0.4 is 5.6 and 10 into 0.1 is 1. Then add these three, so you get 14.1. इसका मतलब EMV of A1 कितना आ गया, 14.1. फिर आपको टेबल में लिख देना है EMV is 14.1. ओके, ये टेबल में लिखना और ये सब थ्योरी एग्जाम के लिए है. आपको MCQ में आएगा तो आपने टेबल नहीं भी बनाया, ये तो आपके ऊपर है, आपको तो केवल निकालना है रफ में करके. तो anyway you can do it, you even need not write in the table. Okay, so EMV of A1 is 14.1. let us calculate EMV of A2. Okay, EMV of A2 कैसा निकालेंगे. अब हमको क्या करना है, A2 के लिए EMV, A2 ये है, A2 के लिए पे ऑफ क्या है, 13, 15 एंड 12 और उनकी प्रोबेबिलिटी क्या है, 0.5, 0.4 एंड 0.1. तो 13 into 0.5, this is what I have written here, plus 15 into 0.4, 15 into 0.4 plus 12 into 0.1, 12 into 0.1. Okay, now what is third, and then add all. So this is the sum, matlab addition of product, product of what, payoff and probability. That is what is written here. See, EMV is calculated by taking the sum of what, products of payoff and their probabilities. So that is what we are doing here. Now 13 into 0.5 is 6.5, 15 into 0.4 is 6 and 12 into 0.1 is 1.2. When you add these three, you will get 13.7. So EMV of A2 is 13.7. That is what I've written here. Okay. Now similarly calculate EMV of A3. I hope you are understanding it. EMV of A3. So what you have to do, you have to see the payoffs of A3. A3 के लिए EMV निकालना है. तो ये A3 के पे ऑफ है 17, 16 एंड 25. इनको मल्टीप्लाई करना है किससे, प्रोबेबिलिटी से. 17 into 0.5 it is here, plus 16 into 0.4, 16 into 0.4 plus 25 into 0.1. See here. Okay, so 17 into 0.5 is 8.5, 16 into 0.4 is 6.4, 25 into 0.1 is 2.5. कैलकुलेटर से करते समय ऐसा मत करना 17 into 0.5 plus 16 into 0.4, सब रॉन्ग हो जाएगा. किसी भी एक्सप्रेशन में आपको पहले मल्टीप्लिकेशन करना पड़ता है. तो आपको ये मल्टीप्लाई करके पहले ये लिखो, फिर ये मल्टीप्लाई करके ये लिखो, फिर ये मल्टीप्लाई करके फिर ऐड करना है. ओके, सो यू विल गेट 17.4. सो EMV ऑफ A3 is 17.4. अब क्या करना है हमको, व्हाट इज द सेकंड स्टेप, द बेस्ट कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन इज द वन विथ मैक्सिमम EMV. बेस्ट कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन क्या होगा, जिसका EMV सबसे ज्यादा है. किसका ज्यादा है इन तीनों में, इसका 17 पॉइंट, ये लिखा है मैंने मैक्सिमम. ये किसके लिए है, A3 के लिए. तो इसलिए मैंने इसको हाईलाइट किया, A3 इज द बेस्ट डिसीजन. So their Finn's maximum EMV is 17.4 for action A3. So the best decision is to choose A3. So A3 is the best decision by using EMV criteria. I hope you have understood. What are the steps? पहले EMV निकालो हर एक के लिए, हर एक कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन के लिए. फिर देखो कहां पर EMV मैक्सिमम है, जिस कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन के लिए वो मैक्सिमम है, दैट इज द बेस्ट डिसीजन. ओके, let us take the next problem. One more problem I have taken. For the following payoff table, determine the best decision using EMV criterion. Again, this is the table being given to you. There are two course of actions, A1 and A2. पहले वाले प्रॉब्लम में 3 दिए थे, यहाँ मैंने आपको 2 ही दिए हैं, A1 and A2. इनमें से सेलेक्ट करके बताना है which course of action is the best one. और यहाँ various states of nature, 3 states of nature are there, S1, S2, S3, and their profit or payoffs are given, 250, 350, 400, 500, 200, and 100. And probabilities of the events are given. Probability of S1 is 0.3, probability of S2 is 0.5, and probability of S3 is 0.2. You have to use the EMV criterion. So what you will have to do in the solution, First, find out EMV for A1 and EMV for A2. EMV of A1. A1 matlab ye. What you have to do? Take the sum of the products of payoff. These are the payoff and the probability. So 250 into 0.3. This is what I've written. 250 into 0.3 plus 350 into 0.5. 350 into 0.5 plus 400 into 0.2. 400 into 0.2. Now, what is 250 into 0.3? Write down here, 75 plus 350 into 0.5, 175. Write down here. 400 into 0.2, 80. Add them, you will get 330. So, EMV of A1 is 330. Make a column here, EMV of A1, 330. Okay. Similarly, find out EMV of A2. Okay, in the same way. So for finding the EMV again, what will you do? You will take the sum of the products of payoff and the probabilities. So where is your A2? A2 is here. What are the payoff values? 500. So 500 into 0.3. This is what I have written here. Plus 200 into 0.5. It is written here. Plus 100 into payoff into probability. 100 into 0.2. So 500 into 0.3 is 150. 200 into 0.5 is 100 and 100 into 0.2 is 20. Then add them. You will get 270. So EMV of A2 is 270. So we have calculated EMV of A1, EMV of A2. Now what is the next step? Find the best course of action will be the one having maximum EMV. The maximum EMV कहाँ आ रहा है आपको? 330 or 270. कहाँ पर ये maximum है? I've written here maximum and also highlighted. And it is for what? It is for A1. So which is the best course of action? A1 or A2 में से A1 is the best course of action. Since maximum EMV is 330 and it is for what? It is for action A1. So A1 is the best course of action or best decision. Okay. So today we have seen how to use EMV criterion to select the best course of action. Here EMV criterion is used for decision making under risk. ये याद रखो. MCQ में ये पूछ सकते हैं क्योंकि अंडर रिस्क में ही आपको ये प्रोबेबिलिटीज पता रहेगा बाय पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस. अंडर अनसर्टेनिटी में आपको प्रोबेबिलिटीज नहीं दिए होंगे. सी हियर decision making under uncertainty, there are no probabilities given because the decision maker has got no knowledge of the previous data. He doesn't know the probabilities of the occurrence of various events. So he will use these criterions: maximax, maximin, and Laplace. These criterions are used in decision making under uncertainty. And when probabilities are given, that means decision making under risk, previous data is available, so probabilities will be given. So which criterion is used? We use EMV criterion. Okay, so decision making under risk, we use EMV criterion if the payoff table is given to you. So when the payoff table is given to you, find out the EMV for each course of action by taking the sum of the products of payoff and the probabilities. Okay. For example, if you want to find out EMV for A3, these are the payoffs. So 17 into its probability, 17 into 0.5, 17 into 0.5 plus 16 into 0.4, 16 into 0.4 plus 25 into 0.1, 25 into 0.1. Then first you do this multiplication, write down the figure, plus make this multiplication, do this calculation, write down the figure here, plus multiply 25 with 0.1, write down the figure here, then add and write down this. Now out of these EMVs, select the one which is maximum. The maximum figure is 17.4 and it is for A3. So A3 is the best decision. Okay. So today we have seen how to use EMV criterion for finding the best decision. Okay. Next, in the next lecture, we will see what is the regret matrix and the criterion EOL, expected opportunity loss, and minimax regret. Okay. So these two things we will see in the next class. Thank you all.